on the road to WrestleMania, Dan. Well, technically, when they
Officially.
yeah, officially. And when they say that, that kind of pisses me off because I feel like it takes away from the elimination chamber. Like they just it feels like they just
Well,
skip over it. And
yeah, yeah.
right?
But I mean, it's part of the road,
I
right?
I
Elimination Chamber is part of the road.
I get it. I just think they should, give a little bit more respect to having a PLE here, which is going to be the chamber. Um, but that's going to be interesting because we heard from Hunter during Rumble weekend that whoever wins the chamber could basically pick whatever they want. So that means we'll get to Raw as well, but the Punk Roman segment that ended Raw, that could technically become a triple threat.
Yeah, it's weird that they're doing that this year, where Elimination Chamber becomes like as good as winning the Rumble, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and especially since the tribal chief already basically said what he wanted, which we'll get to. So then it kind of demeans anything the tribal chief comes back and says. And also, we talked about this last year on the pod because I went back and listened to a few episodes that I kept notes on. He's back doing that OTC 1 t shirt, if you noticed on Raw.
that, and then and he had TC1 at the actual Rumble, right? I think.
Yeah,
Didn't he
something.
come out with TC1, and then
TC1 or
last
OT.
time it
Yeah.
was OTC1? Like, they had a new one in Saudi Arabia. I think it said
Yeah.
TC1.
We better not
So
get no bullshit bloodline versus bloodline again, Dan. Because it's going to take away from
well,
everything that the bloodline was. That's the only thing that makes sense with him doing a TC1 and an OTC1 t shirt. Because he technically doesn't have to define that to anybody. People still put the ones up in the air. Unless that's what it's standing for. But then that's very confusing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I don't know if it's just they don't know like what else to give them, right? Like, even though there's not really any true like bloodline story stuff going on, I guess they don't have a different gimmick to put on them. And what didn't we talk about last time? There were rumors of like they might go back to the big dog, but my guess would be is like I would hope they would vote that down because it's so
So,
stupid.
I don't know if it's rumors, but I told you he posed with the black and gold gear for like an Instagram
Oh, right.
or a Twitter picture. So that's the gear that he had when he was like my yard. Do you know what so I don't know. But
Yeah, yeah.
we can get into that. Oh my god, James Harden is getting traded again. How terrible a person do you have to be? Anyways,
Oh,
uh
yeah. Well, that's right. You sent me that video of that one guy's take,
yeah.
which was is right. It is one of the greatest takes of all time. That
Yeah.
like I'm sure the guy will get in trouble for, but shouldn't because it was great.
Right. But yeah, it's so stupid. But few things. Do you believe this? This I feel like this is one of the bigger headlines out there that I just found out yeah, today, a couple hours ago. Brie Bella's return to the Royal Rumble was supposedly a last minute decision. Do you believe that?
How last minute can it be
It's a
when you're in Saudi Arabia?
22-hour flight or something, isn't it? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, unless she's just like there with her sister anyway, or doing other stuff, right? Because that does happen, right? Like, autograph signings and things like that. But like, yeah, like how last minute can it really be? Like, to coordinate, but also too, like on Monday night she comes out and like they're back as a tag team and they're gonna go after tag gold. Like, clearly this was planned out to be, you know, more than just a one off. Like, maybe they only do one run, but still, like, that's gonna be a few months worth, I'm sure.
So they, yeah,
Like,
right, because they've done a podcast episode that basically said that's how they kind of want to end their career, like the same way that Jay and Jimmy once said it on like the Sam Roberts podcast or a WWE like after show podcast that they basically want to end their career on having one more great tag team run. So it makes sense if that's what Brie and Nikki are wanting to do, right? Like,
Right.
because Nikki still has to get surgery to fix her chest. She's still wrestling with that broken. So it's like she has that problem. And then Bree's just started training again with her husband, who you can't
Right.
name his name backstage at a WWE event. So, um, yeah. Also, I know I sent this to you, but I felt like this was something good to talk about. Let me know if this comes through as clear.
Yep. I got it. Oh yeah. I remember talking about this.
I don't think he realizes how many stars she's had a hand in making, just based on the role that she plays for them. She's kind of been the glue for that division, right? She had 2 belts when they first bought AAA. She lost a belt at AAA, right? So it's like I don't know one why a grown man still dresses like he's in the movie Kazam. First of all, with this purple people eater, whatever he's wearing, like, and how does WWE not come out and say anything about these comments? Like, this would force a wrestler to walk. I don't get it. Like, she's been the glue. She was the glue when Rhea was out hurt, when Liv came back, broke her shoulder or whatever the same way she did before with Kyrie Sane, I believe. Like, they even talked about during that time putting the big belt on her.
Right.
And that and that's, let's not forget how bad the viewing dropped off of NXT when Ethan Page came out by himself. But the thing that helped was that Chelsea Green came down and made that two-person stable or whatever you want to call it, Team Canada type thing that she was doing with Ethan Page. And then now that he
Yeah.
kind of split off from that, he caught hot again. Let's not pretend it's not because of anything Chelsea hasn't done. Like, I just don't
Yeah.
understand why these old whites just can't get out of their way. Like, this is what forces them to take a call from Tony Khan. Can you imagine the star Chelsea Green would be in AEW? She would be just as big as Mercedes. She would be bigger than Chris Statlander. She would be bigger than Willow. Because none of them said I also wrestled Penta on Lucha Underground. So I can wrestle the guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She has the resume that would finally make Tony Khan's women's division feel legitimate. And this is how WWE just lets some purple people eater come out and talk shit. It's mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling that this is how this gets to allow to happen. Like, it's so stupid. But her response was perfect. Said it's it's giving off Toto Diva vibes, but with shittier clothing, I think she said, or something. Which is like the perfect response back to him, right? Because he saw that. And um he's probably reading all those comments. Because he's one of those guys that he loves being mentioned. That's always been his thing, right? Like, kind of like how we hear from a few of these older like wrestling podcasts. Like, some of this stuff they'll stay, and then they'll get called out, and then it's like, like, I was just trying to push you in the right direction type thing. It's like, no, you were being an asshole, and then you got called out on it. Like, let's call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
Yeah.
um And then third headline, I kind of wanted to talk this AEW story with you. So I don't know if you saw on Wrestling News and I think on Wrestling Inc. There's a few other places that talked about this. Ricochet says his 5-year run in WWE tarnished his legacy. Do you think this is a guy just taking a shot to take a shot so it gets publicity? Or do you think somehow he took a hurricane finisher, hit the crown of his head, and now he actually believes this?
Uh, I mean, I'm sure he probably believes it. You know, like where it all comes from, but like I want to see the actual comments. So I'm looking it up now.
Here, I can for here you go. I can do it for you. Um yeah, I should have shared that one with you earlier.
That's the watered down, different universe version of me. Two completely different people.
How many times did Hunter give him a mic and he tried to do a promo and you sat there thinking to yourself, thank God 205 Live is dead? He didn't have it on the mic. They gave him opportunities on the mic and he did not produce. Like let's like if that like fine. Like I feel like this could be 50-50, right? Like this could 50% be true because he felt like if he gave them creative ideas, they never put him in the role to be successful. But at the same time, they made him like didn't he win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal one year?
I think so. Although I think so, but also like how many people have won that they've done nothing with like that? They
No,
don't even do it
but
anymore, right? Like it's such a waste.
no, but to think about it like this, like that's when they started letting Baron Corbin speak on the mic. So he won that. They gave him an opportunity to basically talk his shit. Do you ever remember a Ricochet promo? And not anything that he said on Twitter about how much money he makes so he can retire his wife. Like anything when he was in the ring.
Yeah, no, I don't actually remember him talking at all. To be honest.
I remember a handful of times when it was Logan like saying crap to his wife. I remember him grabbing the mic a couple times for that, and I thought of there's no way this kid fresh out of YouTube is better than Ricochet, who's been wrestling his whole life at a promo. Because there are some things that Logan shouldn't be able to pull off in a promo that make you look that bad when he's a year into this. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I just now everybody at AEW is talking crazy. Like what are we? Like I don't know. I don't know, man. But anyways, let's get to it. The Royal Rumble. Uh what are we thinking, Dan? I'll let you start with this. Thoughts, good, bad, ugly, and do you think AJ's done wrestling or done in the WWE universe? Because I've heard two different stories on this.
I think he's done. Done. Like I think it's like a wrestling done. I mean, if you're to believe everything he said, you know, it's this was his last contract, and he's good with his career, and he doesn't like see a need to do another run somewhere. So but like any wrestler for the most part, like what does retired really mean?
So
Like,
yeah.
like I just don't see him like going and having a run in New Japan for the next 2 years, or going to AEW and doing like a 2-year deal. Like maybe he pops up somewhere once in a while, maybe a one-off match. Like, but I kind of feel like this is the end of his full-time career for sure.
So if you remember, he said he's gonna beat Gunther, and then he was gonna start his phenomenal tour. And I read an article that he's actually trademarked phenomenal tour. So there's a story going around that people think he specifically put my WWE career, because he's kind of going to be doing what Killer Cross does now at these promotions. And Bully Ray thinks, based on the time that Bully spent with him for that first TNA show, just the way he was excited to be there, like how he was jumping around. He said everything he's heard from Hunter, he believes is bullshit until AJ come out and tell Bully specifically, I don't have the passion for it anymore. So supposedly there's a trademark going around of the Phenomenal Farewell Tour. Where would you like hit? Where would you like to see him end up?
Mm,
Because with these past two matches with Gunther, he obviously can still go, right? Like, it's not what we saw in
oh yeah,
Cena. He could still go.
oh yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's because he can't do it.
No.
Um,
Do you think
It
there's?
just seems
Yeah,
weird because like it just seems weird because like if he was gonna like I think like the obvious answer is like TNA for the nostalgia part, but then it's like
but then it's still
with the
WWE.
deal they have with WWE anyway, like why would you need to
Do that. Yeah,
not have a contract with them? Like, if your contract really is up in February, you could negotiate a short-term contract with them, or whatever term you want probably, but make them include a guarantee that he gets to do some TNA stuff because he wants to get back or whatever. If he wants to go to New Japan, I guess that's probably harder to do with WWE. Obviously he could do AAA if he wanted to with them. So like if he really has intention to wrestle somewhere else, my assumption will be it'll be New Japan or AEW. But AEW seems weird to me for him, just because like I think you have to commit a lot more time to do that. Like New Japan, he could just walk in and have a match, right, or a couple of matches, and he's good. But AEW, like he can walk in and have a match, but it would be weird if he just goes in for one match and then he's gone. Like, I think you have to make a commitment if you're going to go to them.
agreed.
TNA as a separate entity and not worried about the WWE thing, I guess he could. Like, I mean, well, he certainly could. I mean, I guess. I just don't know that it would be necessary to abandon WWE to do that. But look, what if he goes to TNA and, like you said, the angle is he's retired from his WWE wrestling career, but he's here in TNA. And then what if he leads a TNA group into WWE and they try to recreate an invasion, and you got AJ leading a group of TNA either up and comers or TNA established, maybe some former WWE guys that are in TNA, and they go in and say, yeah, I retired from this place, but that didn't mean I retired, or I only retired from this place, and now I'm here to show you like what a different company has because obviously they have the deal.
So,
Yeah, I don't know.
and then there's another story going. Tony Khan's getting prepared to offer AJ Styles the biggest AEW contract ever.
That wouldn't shock me.
If you're on the AEW roster, how do you look at that?
I mean, outside of a couple of guys, like I don't think you can like. There's not much you can really like
Five or
think about
less?
or say about it. Five or less guys or five or less people, yeah,
Yeah,
I would think. Like
I agree.
honestly, like I mean, and probably a couple of those people also would understand because they've been around, right? Because I guess we don't really know like Jericho's status, but take Jericho for instance. Like he's not an idiot. He knows this is how the business works. Like if you have an opportunity to bring AJ in,
You
you're
do
gonna
it.
end up like rolling out a
Yes.
Brinks truck to do
Yes.
it. Like Edge is gonna understand that, or Cope is gonna understand that. Like
Yep.
like MJF, like maybe he has a little bit of an issue with it, but he's smart enough, I'm sure, to understand there's money there for him too,
Well,
right?
and
Like, because he can go out and be like, "Who the hell do you think you are?" Just like he did with
bingo.
Punk.
Yep,
Who do you think
bingo.
you are, old man? Right? Like, this is my territory. I'm the highest paid guy in this company,
Bingo.
or what, whatever. Like, there's a story. Boom. For that, I don't know if you want to count somebody like Mercedes, but she's gonna know. Like, she's not an idiot too. She knows that's how it works. Um, Everybody else, I don't think they have a leg to stand on for being that upset about it, right? Like,
So,
you're talking about a worldwide
yes.
recognized guy. And I talk about this all the time. Like, AEW is full of people who have had more exposure in independence and New Japan and places like AAA, where like mainstream WWE guys don't necessarily have quite as much, right? More and more, you're getting this younger talent that hasn't, quote unquote, paid their dues on the circuit and been over in New Japan for a while trying to make it work, or been in AAA for a while. There's some of that, obviously, but more and more, there it's becoming less and less of that, and these are all becoming very young talent that they're grabbing early from an independent circuit probably, and then training and bringing them through. um, so those a lot of those people are going to understand, like, yeah, I mean, right, like I had my time on the independents, and I had a pretty good run, but not an AJ Styles run, like, or I was in New Japan for a little while just to get a paycheck, like, you know so there might be a few in the middle there that like don't love it, but also don't truly understand the opportunity there. So
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think those outside that five really matter because bringing AJ in
no,
is gonna definitely bring your views up. So,
yeah, I agree. Like I don't know if this is the exact confirmed list, but I just googled it. Right, like not counting, or yeah. So allegedly, the top earners are Moxley, who isn't going to care like if AJ Styles is making as much as him or
right.
a little more than him. He's going to understand the
Yep.
opportunity. Jericho, just talked about him.
Yep.
Mercedes,
Might
she's going to
care.
understand it. Okada and Omega. They also, and plus they probably know him very well from New Japan, right? So like they're going to love it, right? So,
Yeah, because it brings back those old stories. Just look at Tama and Shinsuke right now. They keep teasing that
right,
every Friday night.
right,
They know. Print money
right,
on it. Print. Um,
right.
but
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about a guy like Lashley. Lashley's gonna know from TNA.
Yeah.
You know, like what
And
it
from
brings to a show.
WWE.
Well, that too, yeah. But like,
Yeah.
you know, like what it, you know. So I think I don't think, you know, generally speaking, it'll matter too much.
I think this
Um,
is the equivalent to MJ on the Wizards. You get the opportunity to do it, you do it. Because it's going to help the team no matter what it is. And obviously, he's still better than 95% of the AEW roster from what we've seen from him and Gunther. He's made Gunther look good in the ring. And that's damn near impossible. Yeah, so let me get us backtrack because we could talk about this AJ stuff all day, especially him going back to New Japan. Oh my god, I would lose my mind. My brain would turn to mush. Um, so starting off the Rumble, Women's Royal Rumble. Charlotte Flair.
again,
No surprise in here.
again, like is this 4 years in a row? There, the women's rumble is first.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's no way they were going to put them on last in Saudi when you don't even see a
No, not yeah, not
female
last.
sitting
It's
in the
just
row
like,
for the first 50 rows. Charlotte Flair was the most time in the ring. Surprise, surprise. Almost an hour, 10 seconds short of an hour. Winner ultimately being Liv, and on the way to being the winner, knocks out Raquel. Which, are we teasing friggin' a Judgment Day breakup again? Like, just do it already. And then Raquel called her out on Raw on it, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, just get to it. But yeah, so participants: Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Kiana James, Nia Jax, Ivy Nile, Lola Vice, Candice LeRae, Jordan Grace, Becky Lynch, Soruka, Roxanne Perez, Maxine Dupree, Natty, which I'm finally happy that they're letting her do the blood sport instead of Natalia. They're letting her get to her true personality now. So she should just shoot right off to the moon with this. Liv, Lash legend, the Lena Vega, Raquel Rodriguez, Chelsea Green, Julia, Io Sky, Asuka, Rhea, Bailey, JC Jane, Nikki Bella, Kalani Jordan, Kairi Sane, Brie Bella, and Tiffany Stratton. Final four: Tiffany, Raquel, Liv, and Soul. I did not have Soul Ruka as being in the final four.
no, I didn't either.
That's wild. They must support her tenfold backstage if that's what we're gonna do now. They must
Yeah.
they must I don't know what it is. Like, she's great in the ring. She's the most athletic person I think they have besides Jordan Grace. And you already know how I feel about Jordan Grace. She's not getting a push fast enough. But like, felt okay without Rhea and Brie Bella. Probably terrible start to the show. Or do you think it's Saudi?
Mm,
Because I've been starting to question that today.
I don't know if it, yeah, I didn't think about it necessarily that way, but I mean, well, I mean, look, the other problem with that is it's like the you know the venue built in 28 days was also only for 25,000 people.
20,
Like,
25 days. They used the 3 other days to bury the people that build the stadium. So just kind of like
so
Brazil did for the World Cup.
right. So I mean, there's not a lot of people there, to
And
begin
it's
with. But
90% men, right? Because I don't think women are allowed out to the sporting events.
yeah, well, that part I don't know, but yeah, but like either way, 25%, and or I mean 25,000, so not a lot of people, and I mean, the theme of the whole show for me like felt underwhelming. So I don't know if it's the venue and it being Saudi Arabia or if it's,
Here we go.
you know,
Sorry, they can only sit in the dedicated family sections. That's what it is. They're able to
okay.
attend, but dedicated family sections. I think
So
I I think if you start this card off in Indy again, where it's 50 to 60,000 people, I think the opening to the Rumble feels a little bit better because they did have some spots in there. At the same
yeah, for
time,
sure. I mean,
when Hunter says we're good, biggest surprises ever, Brie Bell is not that surprise. We could just I'll come out and say it. I know her sister's dating a Pro Bowler now, as she confirmed on Raw that nobody cares about. Um, but like, it's more of a problem. They don't have anyone else that they could reach out to, or they don't have anybody else developed other than Rhea and Io to take the crowd over from a show. I don't know what they need to see Jordan Grace do other than somebody buy Hunter the $134 yearly pass to TNA and said, "Watch Jordan Grace's library." I don't get it. I don't like what. I'm fine with Soul. The thing she can pull off in a ring, there's a lot of guys that can't do it. And side note, she was teaching Oba to do her flip finisher. He can do it from the middle buckle supposedly. If his big ass keeps pulling, if his big ass comes out and pulls that out, then the wrestling world is done for. He would be the greatest athlete of all time. If 320 pounds of chiseled stone all of a sudden does a front flip and hits you with an RKO, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling is destroyed going forward. Like,
yeah.
it's filthy that she decided, yeah, I'm going to teach this guy how to do it. Great choice. Now the rest of the wrestling world is scared. Um, but yeah, I mean, and it was weird because wasn't Brie first, then Tiffany, and then Rhea? Like, wouldn't you space those three out? Or they were not in
It
consecutive
was
order, but
it
like
was
within five, I think they
well,
were.
it was Bree then Tiffany, 29 and 30.
And then where
Um,
was
they were the last two.
Rhea?
Rhea was 22.
So within 8 to 10 spots.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
I think I start that with Tiffany. If Tiffany is 100% clear, I think I start that with Tiffany and I let Tiffany be the most time in the ring. I don't see how most time in the ring has done anything for Charlotte.
No.
I don't feel like it pushed any of these ladies forward, except for the fact that we're gonna let Natty be an asshole now and be blood support her, which I've been calling for that too. Like, but I don't. Do you feel like they pushed anybody forward in this?
I mean, I think the only person that got, I think, a lot of like attention out of it was Sol Ruka, but
Yeah, rightfully so.
but
Yeah.
that's because of her,
Yep.
Um, but then no, otherwise, like
It's been yeah.
there was nothing, there was nothing that really
Right. Accomplished anything.
stood out.
Yeah.
Right, like nothing that I can think of that stood out, and it just kind of like just the match went the way it went, and so yeah, you get your Tiffy return, you get Brie as a surprise, and you get some standout performance by Sol Ruka, but in the end, like Yeah, the rest was just like whatever,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. I think it would have felt a little bit better if it was in a full arena rather than Saudi. Um, you know, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Saudi shows because I think it takes away from the wrestling atmosphere. And I know they paid like $20 billion over the next 5 years for this to happen, so they're gonna keep getting them, especially WrestleMania next year, I think. But like, whatever. I don't know. So not bad. Not my favorite one. I felt like they could have got a lot more done with this rather than just settled on Charlotte Flair being the most time in the ring that nobody cares about, so she can have that title to herself. Like, and to be honest, it seems like they've kind of taken the chains off of Raquel, right? Why not have
yeah, a little bit.
Raquel be the one that Tiana Bomb live outside the ring instead of Liv getting it? I understand that she had the Philly street fight with Stephanie last night on Raw, but then this gives her extra insurance if she doesn't get the title from that match with Stephanie on Raw. She said that's fine and just pulls this out of her pocket and says I have a do over. Problem solved.
Yeah,
Like if you're pushing her this hard to keep going at Stephanie, and Stephanie is technically hurt and battling through it, why not give Raquel a 2 month title run? See what she could do with it. I mean, Jesus, you gave her Kevin Nash's nickname just like that. You might as well put the belt on her. They pulled Big Sexy out of the Hall of Fame and said, "Here, you can have it. We're not doing anything with it." Like,
yep.
but yeah. So I think we kind of agree on that one. Was Sammy and Drew next, correct? Or was it AJ and Gunther? No, it was AJ and Gunther, right?
Um, mm, let me double check.
Anyways,
Yes,
yeah.
it was Gunther and AJ. Thanks. Yeah.
Obviously, we said it before that AJ could still go. Did you see? So we talked about this last episode or 2 weeks ago, 2 episodes ago. You remember how I told you they trademarked career killer for Gunther? Did you see what they did with that?
No.
When T comes out, right? He still has his big Gunther on the big center jumbotron screen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on the side panels, it looks like it's font Times New Roman size 18. It just says career killer. So that's all they trademarked that for? You're telling me Hunter couldn't pull up Copilot and get a better design? It's black and white, Dan. That's all it is. On the side screens, it's just like the small side screens. It just says career killer.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
follows that like look they had for Imperium, right?
yeah, that World War II feel. Yeah, yeah, everybody's second favorite Austrian. I get it. But it's like, what are we doing here if you're trademarking this? That seems like the most useless trademark. Um, I guess the only other thing on this is, how do you feel about Gunther being this career killer guy, the legend killer now? Does it do anything for you?
I mean, no, not necessarily, but you know, I guess we'll see where they go with it. But you know, I don't know like what's next. So necessarily know what's next. So No, it's not doing a lot, but I guess it's something for him to do to keep him out of, I guess, the title picture for now. Because they have other plans. It looks like.
Do you think he eventually career kills RKO? I know the plan is for Brock, but then Brock got in trouble for
It's interesting.
allegedly pooping on people.
Well, I don't know that really matters. He's back either way, so
No, but
they're
I,
certainly over that.
I just like to put it out there that Brock's a piece of shit. Um, but like, do you think this is a long-term storytelling run of, hey, he's gonna put out Orton? Because
Mm,
I don't know how you have both of it on the roster. Because it's very easy to go back to Orton and say he's the legend killer. You're the career killer. Because then technically, if he's the legend killer, this whole career killer thing means absolutely shit. I don't know. I'm not, and it's not the fact he's engined these careers of like the Hall of Fame people we grew up watching. This just feels weird to me, and maybe it's just because it's Gunther, but it just feels weird. It doesn't feel like it's
yeah,
productive at all. Because one, he's not in a title shot for anything, right? So he has to win the chamber if that's the case.
right.
I think, right? Yeah, because he hasn't won
Yeah,
anything, so he still has to win the chamber to get into a title match. And by no, I don't even want him valet parking at the arena the same night as Punk and Roman. Just stay home if you think you're going to put him into a triple threat from that. And if Drew still has the title, which I don't know if he told you, I thought Drew was going to drop this sooner than later. But when Drew came out in SmackDown and held that title up backstage and basically gave the whole roster a heads up, if you mention me or mention anything about this title, I am taking you out. I think he keeps that title to Mania. I don't think there's anyone that takes that title off of him.
yeah. Um, I thought for sure. Well, my guess was he was actually going to lose it. Uh,
Yeah, I don't think so anymore after that. I
so yeah. Well, no. Yeah, I agree. Like now that he won it here, I don't necessarily think it's going to go until WrestleMania.
yeah.
Again, that really depends on what they're doing there.
Well,
Uh, I mean, it looks like they're still setting up Cody, but
yeah, but they
or
technically can't.
something with them. Cody can go in the chamber.
The stipulation was as long as Drew has the belt, Cody didn't win the Rumble, he can't get a title shot ever again. That's why Drew came out and pulled Cody out like that.
Yeah, but I wonder. I mean, I'm not sure why they wouldn't just run it with him winning the chamber to do it the same way if he had won the Rumble,
Dan,
right?
the wrestling rules are real, Dan, okay? They are real.
Sure, sure.
Just like when a referee doesn't count to 10 and you're like, "Oh, are we not doing that anymore?" When somebody's outside the ring? But yeah, so but that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean the way I'm rereading it now, like it just says he's barred from a standard rematch for the title.
Oh, here you go. Hell in the
So
Cell.
like it's a rematch clause, right? Like there's no rematch clause, that they allegedly have in every contract, right? So
Yeah.
he can only do it by the Rumble or Elimination Chamber, I think is how it's gonna play out. Like, right? Like if he can earn it through the Rumble, he can't earn it through just a standard rematch, which would be just Drew agreeing to face him or the general manager doing it. So he has to win it through
The Chamber.
Rumble, Chamber, or Money in the Bank, in theory.
When's Money in the Bank? That's not before Mania, is it?
No. I'm just saying that would probably qualify too. Like
Yeah.
he could be Money in the Bank, but so I assume he's going to be in the Chamber, and who knows what they're doing, but
Here's the thing: does Cody's involvement then in the Chamber take away from the Chamber, like we said, similar to the way they treated the women's Royal Rumble? Because then, how do they push anything forward if Cody wins the Chamber? Because I don't think Cody Drew gets us anywhere. I honestly think Cody has to take some time off and come back as a bad guy. But I know it's been reported backstage that WWE will not make him to do the switch because they don't want to take the loss in the merchandise.
yeah, maybe. Um,
So
I mean,
I feel
your buddy there,
yeah. Which one?
your buddy Uncle Dave there,
Here we go.
you know,
Yeah.
his alleged knowledge is that it's going to be Cody versus McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in a three-way match for that title at WrestleMania.
Oh, cool. So we're just gonna pull out that golden shovel that Cena had and just bury Braun Breaker then for another year, even though we just started pushing him.
I think they have alternate plans for him too. Which obviously
It better not be
is
Punk or
heavily
Roman.
related to.
It one.
No, I think they're going to continue this story of some masked person is killing his opportunity, and then that's going to culminate with a match somewhere, right? Like whether that's Seth's return and his vengeance, and that ends up at WrestleMania, or it's Adam Pierce, or it's Logan Paul, right? Like whatever it is, or Austin Theory, whoever it is, right? Like I think it's leading to we're not putting you in the title picture, so we're playing this other storyline of like, well, you screwed Seth, and now Seth's coming back maybe to get you back, and whatever.
How funny would it be if it's Giselle Shaw in the mask? Do you know who that is?
No.
That's who Rick Steiner went after at the WrestleCon.
Oh, oh my God, that would be a
What did it? What did that? What did that? They came out. They gave Braun the super kick and the stomp. Everybody's thinking it's Seth. I saw some people do a side by side with Logan Paul and said it's Logan. Come to find out, it's just Giselle Shaw in there. Break that barrier, Dan. Let's break that fourth wall.
yeah.
It would be
That'd be
awesome.
interesting.
Yeah, I think I think you brought this up at a point last year when Cody did have the title that like he may have to go away for a tad bit for it to feel fresh again. I feel like we're at that now with Cody not having the title. Cuz I don't want to see like
Yeah, he needs to go away.
just for a little bit of time. He can show up at Mania and like screw something up for somebody and that could be the start of the heel run. But like I think him being involved in the chamber takes away from somebody else getting a push that this roster desperately needs in the chamber.
Yeah.
So, if you were to guess it right now, who are your thoughts on the chamber for the men?
Oh, jeez.
I think we get Orton. I think we get Jacob.
Let me see something.
Is it 5 or 6? Is it 5? It's 5, right?
It's
Or is it
no,
no,
it's six.
it's
Two
6?
two in the middle and
Yeah.
four chambers. Um,
I'm saying Orton, Jacob, Braun, Orton, Jacob, Braun. I think you're right. They're gonna
yeah,
throw
I mean,
Cody in there.
I think Cody is going to be in there. I mean, Cody, Jacob,
Doesn't Orton make this interesting?
Orton would make it interesting.
Especially
I
then
don't
if
know if
he.
they're going to have Gunther in there or not, though.
But then what's the point of him career killing everybody?
Yeah,
What's he
but I
get?
mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if they're going to have him in the chamber because he's not killing a career in the chamber, and then uh, even so, if he wins it, he's picking Drew or Punk, but like, you're not ending Punk's career at WrestleMania.
No, but
So
he could put
then
it on the
where are
line.
you going with that? He can put it on the line, but then
That's
you've
interesting.
like, but if Gunther doesn't win, then like you've ruined it, right? Like the whole point is like,
I think they've already
you
ruined
know,
it.
well, but I mean, like you really are ruining it if he can't end the career of somebody, right? Like, you know, with Randy and the Legend Killer thing, it was much more of a just putting them out of commission for a long time, right? So like,
Yeah.
but this is different. He's now in theory retired Cena, retired Styles, right? Like if that's the play, he can't already lose and not retire somebody in April, you know. So I don't see if that's the storyline you're sticking to, then you're not advancing that unless Punk is really done in April, and I'm pretty sure we know he's not. So,
Yeah, he's not done
and
yet.
then he's not retiring Drew. Like that's kind of weird, right? Like Drew's not in a position where he's close to the end. Like it would make sense to me if they were sticking with the Lesnar thing that they set that up, but that's for SummerSlam. Um, Maybe they do a WrestleMania thing, but I think that would be more for SummerSlam. I mean, who else is out there that's close to retirement?
The only other one is Ray, but I think that's going to be Dom, and I think that's
Oh,
going to
what's
happen at
interesting
AAA.
about that though? Maybe, but what's interesting about that is the fact that he attacked what's his face. Um,
Ooh.
who the hell did he attack on Raw? Um,
Oh, Dragon Lee.
yeah, like is that a hint of like you know attacking a lucha guy to get Ray up there, and then he retires Ray? That could be interesting.
Yeah.
He could also retire him, quote unquote, back to Mexico, and then Ray could still get retired by Dom in Mexico,
Vikingo.
which, mm, yeah,
And it's and I don't know if you've been following AAA or all at all. Vikingo has Omos as security now,
yeah, yeah.
so that's fun. Um, Brock's probably in the chamber, right?
I don't know actually on that one. I'm not sure.
And what are your thoughts on Paul walking out with Brock at the Rumble? What was that about?
Yeah, well, when I first saw it, I thought it was a little weird, but then I remembered it took me a minute to remember it, but I remembered that Brock joined the Division at Elimination Chamber, so it actually made more sense, or it's okay that Paul is still supporting him like he does the Vision guys. I wasn't sure if that was a hint towards a split for Paul out of it too because of what's going on, but like I said, once I remembered back to War Games and Lesnar being a part of their side, it makes a lot of sense. Right? I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just how you like overall. So that's everything from this Rumble. Roman ends up winning it, right? Um.
Rowan ends up winning it. You know what else was not? I mean, I guess like after a while they just run out of. It's a numbers game, but no NXT guys in the
mm,
Rumble. No current NXT guys. Obviously, there are guys that just came up, but they're not affiliated with NXT anymore, like
oh,
Trick and Ova.
Royce Keys. What's your thoughts? Wild they made
Um,
the statement that Cody and him have history.
well,
Smart.
that's getting less and less wild to me that they're doing that because they've been they've been acknowledging Pat a lot more now and like willing to at least allude to other promotions even if they won't name them, and like they did that with Ricky Saints too, right? Like an Ethan Page, right? Like they did that a little bit, or they've done that a little bit. What I thought really weird, and I guess I don't know for sure um what the trademarks are like, but what I thought was very odd, and this is the same thing they did with Cardona that I thought was weird. The graphics started with saying Powerhouse Hobbs, and
So
then obviously smashed away to say Royce Keys, and then you hear Cole go, he was once known as Powerhouse Hobbs, but now he goes by Royce Keys, which like it's funny because it's like it it's breaking kayfabe and not at the same time, which
yeah.
is just so funny that they like have this weird way of like breaking it without breaking it. But like, I don't know, it's just weird. But then I thought more about it. That might have been just so that the Saudi people knew who the hell he was to start for the reaction
So
purposes.
two things. They talked about this on Busted Open. Two things. It was a tie-in, so they had an idea, but at the same time, he picked this Royce Key because it's the son of his kid. Then Royce is
Yeah,
his his third son name, and
right.
then Keys is his late mother. So he chose to switch to
Yeah.
that. So it is probably the tie-in of like what you said of like, yeah, these people probably don't watch AEW. Um,
Or they only know him by Hobbs,
yeah,
and they wouldn't under like they wouldn't have known, and like maybe they wouldn't recognize right away. But you throw up Powerhouse Hobbs on there, but I don't know. I just think it's weird. Obviously, like I didn't check, but my guess is Powerhouse Hobbs was not trademarked by AEW, or that trademark expired because I can't imagine they would do that.
right.
Um, but um,
Did you think it was weird we didn't see him on Raw then too? I thought we would see him again. Or are they
well,
saving him for
I mean,
SmackDown?
I think they're probably, in theory, saving him for now. I don't know if it's for SmackDown or not, but like he's still like unaffiliated, right? He's a free agent like Oba is. Like they haven't signed him yet.
What if they send him to
So
NXT?
well, that's what I thought too, is that he's gonna be an NXT guy for a little bit because, you know, he's probably still um still in need of some of their like training or whatever they want to do, right? Because I guess technically he started professional wrestling in 2010, it looks like, but, you know, very small independent stuff until AEW. Uh,
Um,
and then of course, very quickly surfaces the pictures of him being a security guard in WWE years and years ago. And then now I'm reading he had a tryout in 2016
yeah.
in a dark match with Baron Corbin. Uh, and he's gone to promo class in the Performance Center in the past, but never got a contract. And then he went into AEW, and obviously he's grown a little bit there. But um,
I was thinking about writing an article for this for on No DQ. Here's what I would have did. Instead of Hobbs' spot, I would have had Ricky Saints show up. Because he could still go and do the ladder match for the NXT title tonight. That's happening tonight.
Yeah.
And then have Hobbs show up on NXT and screw over Saints. Because they have history too.
Or help him.
Or help him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saints could show him the ropes of like how Shawn likes everything done at NXT, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a cleaner transition for people to get used to Hobbs or Royce Keys, my apologies, than having him take a 22-hour flight where nobody really knows who he is. I feel like that puts his character behind the 8 ball. And I think he deserves better than that.
It actually makes a lot of sense that he can somehow be involved in this ladder match at the end or screw it up somehow, and like that's his introduction. And yeah, I think he'll be NXT for a little bit at least.
And you know what I want to see? I want to see Hobbs versus Oba.
Oh yeah.
Because we could talk about this now as we finish things up. But Oba coming out and destroying the War Raiders, that does nothing. They were so hot as a tag team with the belts on it.
Yeah.
And then that's what they get. Do you know what I'm saying? And Corey Graves said, "Whoa, we're scheduled for a tag match." But when the ruler wants to come out, the ruler comes out. I don't think Oba knows he doesn't have a match, but he just comes out and destroys people. It's like, Corey, please go listen to everything they said on NXT. There's a reason you got kicked off the show from McAfee. You should be thankful he had a baby, so he stayed at home. Because you would still be on AAA, buddy. Like, it makes no sense to do this. Like, they've already established he's the ruler. They've already established that nobody's can beat him. They had him and Brock stand there and play patty cake for how long during the Rumble? They just stood there, stared at each other, and all flexed like they were the Incredible Hulk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if Barry Bonds can't get in to the Hall of Fame, side note, because of being associated to Belco, Brock should not be allowed into a Hall of Fame for how purple he turns every time he breathes. His big ass out there looking like Grimace every time he bends over to fix the boot. Like, what are we doing? That ain't deer meat, Brock. We know what that is. That is the Jose Canseco special. That's what that is. Like, let's calm down. And this may be because I'm getting old and grumpy. I'm getting sick of Brock.
Well, it's just dumb. Like at these points, like
it's not doing anything.
Well, it just is like the same. I mean, what do you do with him? Like you can't. You just can't do anything like other than have him come in and just destroy everyone. Although I will say, still kind of it's still kind of like impressive to watch him do a suplex to Oba Femi. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like
just to watch him get him
right.
up. Although he almost screwed up the Cody one. I don't know if he caught that or not. Like I don't know who it was. Was it? I don't remember who it was, but somebody was on the ground and he goes to suplex Cody, and you can see Cody sees like, I'm gonna land on that dude if I don't turn.
Yeah.
And he ended up having to turn on his shoulder weird. Lucky didn't like do something, but like it just wasn't spaced out well enough. But I think it might have been the Miz, but yeah, I mean, impressive to watch him do Femi, and I know Femi has a big part in making that look good, but like,
yeah,
I'm watching that going, holy shit. Like, yikes.
And I think I'm getting aggravated so much by it because at what point does this start to tarnish what Brock is about? If anything, and I'm Paul Heyman, and you're having an issue with Adam Pearce, and Braun Breaker is supposed to be sent home, right? That's what they said on Raw last night, Dan. Because LA Knight left, he wanted Braun Breaker sent home.
Yeah.
Guess who?
Well, he want no, he want. I guess he wanted both people who interrupted the show sent home.
Yeah, so it.
Both of them interrupted.
Yeah. So if I'm Paul Heyman and that's how Adam Pearce is talking to me, and I'm supposed to be the wizard that always has the card in the back pocket, I'm sending Brock into Adam Pearce's office at the end of the show. And then that's how you end the show. Or you do that before the Punk and Rogan segment. So then people are like, oh shit, Brock's going into Pierce's office. And then all of a sudden you just cut to Roman coming out. So now you have Punk and Roman basically selling every ticket possibly printed for WrestleMania with those promos. But then Monday, you have your starting gate already amped up because everybody's waiting a week to see what Brock did in Adam Pierce's office. If it's truly Brock is the extra hired help, or he's your big weapon, and this is Brock's last year, use him like that a couple times.
Yeah.
Because seeing how big and yoked that Adam Pearce still is, and Paul Heyman walking around like Oswald Cobblepot the Penguin, does nothing for me. Really, what are we doing? And if I have to hear Heyman say, "Do you know what city we're in?" I mean, it didn't matter because he had no ECW things happen. They did a street fight because they were in Philadelphia for the women, but his whole comment made no sense for the guys at all. There was no Tommy Dreamer. There was no Bully Ray. There was no Sandman. There was no Rhino like they brought out the one year. There was none of those guys. So Paul saying that kind of tarnishes every time they go to Philly, and he says it every goddamn time. Save it for when you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense because then it's just like, oh, okay, we're getting something ECW. And then they're like, all right now is the Raquel versus Stephanie Vackier street fight. Oh, cool. Thanks, Paul. Great segment. Like, Paul's on the verge of a widowmaker heart attack in that shirt and tie, and all of a sudden he's dropping ECW reference. Like, what are we doing? Keep it moving at this point. Like, and do you think the Vision needs one of the main titles to stay relevant? Or do they eventually turn into the Wyatt Six? Because I think without Paul right now, there's a Wyatt Six. Bronson Reed can't talk on a mic. Logan doesn't do anything. I mean, he's a great athlete, but he's not really. Braun's to stay in that stable. And Austin's like, yeah, this is cute. But that's it.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if title changes it, right? Like, for me at least. Like, I it's just, I don't know. It's another like becoming for me another like little bit of like a judgment day because there's like no real clear leader, right?
Well,
Like,
it's
you
Braun,
had
right?
Seth, obviously. Yeah, like I guess it's Braun, but is it Braun? Like, because right now Braun's going through it, but also like Logan might be more flashy. Theory is a return that is more interesting. Bronson Reed can overpower Braun, like, and then Paul Heyman's this mouthpiece. They're almost a little bit like rudderless, is what it seems like as a group. And Braun is not really like a lead guy yet. I don't know, like so. I'm not sure having a championship matters because they almost don't feel like a faction. Actually, is what I think it is. Like,
Yeah,
it's a weird like setup because Logan being a part of it is weird. Theory, like the way he returned being a part of it is a little weird. Like, I don't know. It's just like there's not a clear like lead guy, and like we've kind of gone through this. Like, I don't know what they've been doing with their factions. Like, you've got the Wyatt Six, which yeah, they have a clear lead guy, but like it's not going anywhere. And then like we had the issues with the Judgment Day, we had the issues with the Bloodline. Solo's blood, like even Solo's bloodline. Like, yeah, I guess Solo's the leader, but like I don't know. It's not like I don't know. There's like zero interest in that. Seemingly.
yeah. It feels fake, especially what they did, and I think it felt fake last night for me after what they did to Braun at the Rumble. Like he didn't even get to participate, and they ran through his ass. To me, that means that they're not sold on him getting a title yet. I thought for sure he was walking out of that match with one bill filled with the title. I thought for sure that was it. There was no doubt in my mind that Phil was dropping that title, taking a little bit of time off to go hang out with AJ and the dog, and that was it. And also, now that this brings it up, no AJ for the Rumble? Because I know Punk once said he would never wrestle in Saudi. So I wonder if AJ feels the same way, but AJ had the balls to just stick to that statement.
Right.
So it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, is this the most weird spot you feel like we've been in after the Rumble?
Yeah. Well, and that to me, that's partly because the Rumble was um underwhelming, or just regular whelming, I guess is what it really is. Like it just like wasn't great,
No.
you know. And in the past, we've talked about that of like there weren't a lot of surprises or returns, and that's fine. Like, and there wasn't a lot of that either. But that's not even why it wasn't like great. It just was like a show,
It felt
and it
okay.
wasn't a big show. Like it just didn't feel like a pillar tentpole event,
Because
and
yeah.
you know,
Because it has to
so it was just
signify
go ahead.
progress, right? It has to push something. Wouldn't you say? For it to feel great?
Yeah. Now I will say, because we didn't talk about it a lot, but I will say this first Roman Punk promo like
Yeah, let's talk about that
bred a
now.
lot of
Yeah.
life, right? Like it breathes a lot of life into
It sold every ticket
how
for
the
the
Rumble
second night.
ended.
Yep. Sold every
Right.
ticket for the
So
second night.
so that's a good save for a very like you know honestly, let's be real, substandard Royal Rumble event. This promo brought it right back to like, oh shit, this is gonna like I can't wait for this already.
Yeah.
Like it's the day after the Rumble, and I can't wait for this main event at WrestleMania. And I'm like can't wait for the next 2 months of
Promos. Yeah.
promos,
I, I,
between these two.
I texted you after Punk got done with his side of the promo, and I said this Punk versus Cena will be 100 times better than what Roman versus or Punk versus Roman will be 100 times better than what Cena versus Roman was because Roman actually knows how to rebuttal now, and he doesn't have to think about it. It's quick fire now.
Yeah,
He knows how to stand.
yeah, it was
He
good.
he knows how to
It was
stare at the
so good.
crowd. He knows how to portray his face. He knows when to laugh at the other person's promo. And then when you give him a second, he's there to put the dagger in you with his promo. With
Right.
the
And
because
it's
I
just
hate you.
right. And it was just enough of I'm gonna take some semi-veiled, semi-obvious shots about your past, but not too much because I'm not gonna
Nope.
rely on that to be the basis of my
Nope.
promo. But
And they still
I'll
got two
throw a
months.
line in there because it gets the good ooh and ah, and that's cool. And like like the Zebros thing, like right, like great. But like no, but let's get back to business. I'm picking this because I fucking hate you. Like and I don't give a shit about anything else. Like, and I don't give a shit about your return. You know, yeah. So like, the good news is that that kind of saved it to be like, all right, now I have purpose in this Rumble outcome because I wasn't sure this is what we would get. You know, and it just piques your interest right away. Like, it still doesn't change my mind that the Rumble kind of sucked, but this is good coming out of it, and we'll see what happens. After Elimination Chamber, I guess too, and like where we go with that. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be it'll be interesting for that. So thank God they saved it at least with that
Yeah, they
and brought us back.
they sold every ticket for that second night. Because obviously that's going to be the main event of the second night. There's no way that's the main event of the first night. There's no way.
I don't think so, but
Dan,
I mean,
don't,
curiously enough,
Dan, don't do it, Dan, because you're gonna send me to bed angry.
what?
Don't do it. Do not
Um,
even put a theory out there in the universe to somehow circle back to be some flaming pile of dog shit that Bianca and Jade is night 2 and Punk and Roman are night 1.
no, 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 no. It's not bad. All I was gonna say is it's a little curious to me that I mean, I guess technically he was asked, but like it just came out today, right? Like Punk was asked in an interview about, main eventing the first night versus the second night. And like, is there a difference and whatnot? And his quote was just, you know, it was like, look, I think I'd prefer night two, but I don't differentiate between the two nights,
D-
Um,
Dan,
and he kind of like made a point to say night one is just as important. And I mean, and in theory, like, he brought up a good point. Rock did a night one, Stone Cold did a night one main event, right? Like, like you're still in rare air there. It's still the main event of a big show. But I agree with you. It should be second night. It will be disappointing if it's not second night for sure. But it's tough though because what do they do? Because they do this stupid thing where they say it for everyone, right? Like both the women's matches and both the men's matches are main eventing WrestleMania. Well, there's only two main event spots technically. And unless you want to start saying co-main event, you need to stop saying that all four are getting main event, because that's just not true. But yeah, we'll see. But it definitely should be night two. But now, and like we'll be talking about this for the next 2 months. It's like, what's the outcome? Like, who's winning? You know?
you had me wanting to put a hole through a wall right now.
Why? Thinking about the idea that Punk like downplayed the idea that it doesn't matter which night.
I think the zeros on his check were more than Tony would have ever written them, and I think he's more of a company man than he would like to admit. Like I said, I think AJ has the balls in that household right now.
Well,
So I
I
think he
mean,
would play ball
it is his
just to
last.
stick it to Tony, the
It,
way that WWE bought TNA just to stick it to Tony, right? Like we got confirmation on that from the Hardy Boys.
like, I think he. I mean, that's probably true, but I think like there is a little bit of realization and maturity that this is it for him. So if he wants to leave a legacy positively or end his legacy positively, he cannot have a
Yeah.
blow up in the back and get fired type situation. So he has to be a company guy. But like, look, you saw it on Unreal, and you've seen it in other clips that they've released of like just how appreciative he is of this run and environment he's in today, and how much he loves it and he sees it differently.
And it
So
only took Vince possibly going to prison for it to happen. So my favorite line in the promo was when Roman said, "When you took your," I think he said something like, "When you took your ball and quit the first time, and then you hopped on your buddy's podcast, you made my life tougher than it had to be."
yeah, your best friend's podcast,
Yeah,
right?
and it's
Which is
similar
interesting
to
because
what
like
Seth
they're not best
Rollins
friends
said. That
anymore.
said, yeah, well, that's what I thought Roman was gonna bring that line and go, but then what happened there? Can you imagine if he hits him with like a Colt Cabana line?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot a little bit about. Well, I think that's coming, but right, and I'm sure that's coming. And I also think, obviously, they're gonna go down the road of like talking about the original plan for the Shield and all that. Um,
Oh yeah, that's gonna get said that
but
it was his idea, and that Punk didn't
um,
want Roman. He wanted Joey Mercury, I think, or somebody else. It was either Joey Mercury or somebody else. He didn't pick Roman. That was Vince's pick.
right,
So then you know that you're gonna get Punk saying, "Well, you're just the corporate guy, just like Cena was, right? Like you're just Vince's guy. That's why you've been protected." And then he'll probably take a shot at like Vince isn't here anymore. Or if he was smart, he could steal the line that Roman used on Austin Theory that night and said, "Daddy's not here no more, so you can call me Daddy." Remember that when the bloodline was like just started getting going and Austin like hopped in the SmackDown ring
right,
with him? Like he can flip that on him so quickly.
right.
But you're gonna see how great Roman is now on promos because he's gonna have to dig into some of this stuff to keep it this intense going forward. And it shouldn't be hard. It's all out there, right? Like
Yeah,
just imagine if Punk gets face to face with Roman again next week, and R- R- Roman makes a comment saying, "At Mania, I'm gonna break you like that glass that broke the last time that you quit or something." And he makes a reference to Jungle Boy or something like that, right? Like or like you may get in
I'm
a
sure all
right
of that is
like
coming.
or you
Well, it should be.
yeah
You know,
you probably think that you can fight the owner of every company, but what happened the last time that you stepped into the octagon or something, right? Like just some comment about him getting choked out there or something. I don't. Do you foresee Roman making comments about AJ? I don't think that's his style.
I don't think it's his style too. I mean, maybe he makes some little like,
Like about the bracelet,
you
I
know,
get right. Like that makes sense. The bracelet.
but yeah, well, and like they might make some little stuff here and there. look, let's not forget though that like Punk was part of a storyline where he was like dumping the ashes of Paul Bearer out on
Oh,
of an urn, right? Like, so he certainly knows like sometimes you got to do stuff that like is going to look maybe feel a little distasteful, but like for the story, like it's love. So I don't know this for sure, but I would not shock me if somehow Larry gets brought into a promo and down this now that Larry has passed away. You know,
well, just
like I
think.
could just see it
Well, just
because it's
yeah,
they're not going to do the stupid things like they've already gone down the like talk about his MMA career. Like
yeah,
they're gonna that's dumb, right? Like nobody's gonna care about that. Like they'll talk about like obviously his past and leaving, and they'll reference some AEW stuff for sure.
yeah, but they won't say
Maybe a
AEW.
little bit of
Yep.
AJ Lee, right? Like maybe a little bit of AJ Lee. Certainly a lot to do with like this story of the Shield and them and him not wanting Roman in it and wanting Chris Hero in it,
That's
right?
who it
Like
was. Yeah,
yeah, and like and maybe well they already brought up like Cabana a little bit without mentioning him. Um, so I think you'll get a lot of that, right? And then they got to find a few other things to touch on that maybe are a little bit deeper, but um it'll be really interesting. I mean, look, this is another situation where he can treat Roman the way he treated Cena and The Rock for a while, right? Of like the way he promoted them, of like you're the golden boy, you're the part timer, you were the chosen one, and they all loved you and pushed you, and this is a joke, like you couldn't even do a promo, right? Like for the longest time, like there's a lot there. There's a lot there, so it's going to be great. It's absolutely going to be great. But it wouldn't shock me if they tiptoe slash cross a couple of lines that we don't expect just to
they're gonna
have
have
them,
to.
especially being on Netflix. You know,
They're gonna have to. Yeah, they're gonna have to. They're just gonna. Yeah, they're gonna
yeah.
have to do it.
So, but I mean, that's the best part. Like here we are spending 15 minutes talking about what might happen over the next 2 months, and like it's just going to be fun to watch
Yeah, because for them to keep
for
the
sure.
intensity to build it, they're gonna have to keep taking these sharp jabs. They're not always gonna be face to face, but I think it's gonna be Punk coming out, starting a show,
Right.
and going from there, or Roman responding and back and forth, right?
Yep.
But yeah, and let's end this on a positive note. Patrick Mahomes Sr. was arrested for probation violation. There you go. Um,
Oh
on that
boy.
note, anything else to talk about, Dan?
I think that's it.
All right. But yeah, that was a good episode. We got a lot in, talked about the Rumble, talked about what we think going forward. We'll see what happens over the next week. If Punk and Roman take the next Raw off and then build in 2 weeks, we might hold off for 2 weeks just to get it all in and to go from there. But we'll see how it builds. Follow our Twitter, Botch Wrestling Pod. You'll know when we do this next. And on Instagram, Botch Wrestling Pod as well. So until then, folks, adios. Thanks for tuning in.